Hey everybody, pardon the late release of this chapter review, but this was probably the last thing I expected to see when I logged on the computer this morning, because, you know, Shonen Jump always, around this time of year, it's always erratic which way it's going to come out. But I was not expecting for it to come out this morning. But anyway, I'm here to talk about it now, and, oh, and if you're wondering how my Christmas was, I actually haven't celebrated it yet. See, I'm Russian Orthodox, so I don't celebrate my Christmas until January 7th. So, there you go. I have 12 more days until my actual Christmas, so yeah, it's a little strange to some people, but it's been like that my whole life. Wouldn't change it for anything. I really enjoy that. But okay, so play the intro. I'm gonna change it because the guy that made the title card for me, Fundamental Physicist, he finished these epic title card things for me. They look amazing. The title looks amazing. I'm actually getting pretty professional here. But anyway, I'm not going to show them until I'm going to revamp the intro for January. So this will be the last, should be the last review with the old intro. But yeah, I've delayed this long enough. Go to the thing. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here to do Bleach chapter 478 entitled The Lost 3. Remember when I said the last thing I expected was to, you know, find a chapter out this morning on a Monday? Well, the thing that shocked me even more than that was the fact that this was not a flashback chapter. They set it up. That was like a perfect setup for a flashback last chapter, how it ended, and they don't even reference it. We don't even get one panel from like when Tsukishima was younger and Ginjo was a Shinigami. We might get that in the future, but you know, that was like the perfect opportunity to show it. But luckily though, this chapter makes perfect sense even without a flashback. Actually, it doesn't. It really doesn't. I'll get to that when I'm at the end of the review, but basically, at the end of this chapter, I felt like we skipped something. I felt like we just skipped over, like, 3 chapters of a flashback, but whatever, let's just go. Okay, so, chapter opens, and for like 3 straight pages, all we get is Tsukishima. He's sitting there, he's crying, he's like, why did you die? Why did you have to die? Why, Ginjo? You taught me how to use my abilities. How did you leave me like this? Why didn't you teach me to do if you died? One of the main antagonists of this entire arc, who I actually think he was worse than Ginjo, because Ginjo, you know, he at least had some personality to him. Tsukishima always seemed like he was just being a dick just because he is. But, yeah, he just starts crying like a little baby. Hence why I'm going to play this sound clip over these scenes. It's funny. I don't know what it was this chapter, but Tsukishima, his entire character, from what we've seen so far with him, you know, being the stoic, Aizen-like villain who just stands in the shadows and manipulates people from behind, all of that is just freaking wiped clean. It's like he's a completely different character now. So anyway, I guess all that yelling caused him to cough up some blood from his wound. But does he die? Fuck no! Why would he? So instead, Mo shows up in front of him just staring at him, really, and Tsukishima just sits there and be like, ah, that's it, I see. Oh, okay, don't sit there and, you know, explain why that makes sense. I mean, one minute he's, like, shouting, like, Ginjo, I should die, Ginjo. Oh, Suginara. It all makes sense now. What the hell? You know, it's funny, because we don't even really know what Tsukishima and Mo's relationship even is. Like, how do they meet each other? Why does Mo always idolize Tsukishima? And oh, by the way, I found that someone said I'm pronouncing Mo wrong, even though that's how it's spelled in English, M-O-E. Someone says I should be elongating it, like Moe or something. I don't know, but it says Mo. I'm American. I like the Three Stooges, so I'm gonna be doing that. But it's just one of the gaps, you know. It's like that it's like one of the things the flashback should have explained. That would have been a perfect thing for a flashback chapter to explain. one chapter where Ginjo met Tsukishima, then you can have another chapter where Ginjo founded Execution, then you can have another chapter where, you know, Tsukishima met Mo, or what happened with Tsukishima. Why did he leave Execution in the first place? How did Mo and him meet? That would be a perfect thing for a flashback to explain, but because it feels like we skipped over it, I mean, a lot of people would probably been annoyed by that because, you know, a lot of people don't like flashback chapters. I do if they're done well. I don't like it when they're rushed, like the Execution flashback chapter was, but when they're, like, spaced out over, like, I would have been fine with just 3 chapters just to explain what the hell was going on, but instead we get this. Back to Yukio, who I guess thawed out. I'm not really sure. I would guess that Toshiro unfroze him, but he still has ice on him that he's kicking off. It feels like, you know, Toshiro just like unfroze him half of the way, and he's like, alright, walk home, have fun, you know, freezing to death. And once again, he doesn't seem at all fazed by the fact he has like huge chunks of ice clinging to his body. He just acts like it's a normal thing. He's not even shivering. But anyway, he's walking down the street, and he notices someone's behind him, and it turns out it's Jackie. Praise be it to Kubo. At first when I saw this, I was like, oh wow, I really gotta do something over the top with this. I gotta have something crazy in the review, because Jackie's supposed to be dead. But you know what? I don't really find it that bad. I mean, her death was actually ambiguous. I mean, I still don't understand the fact that it was Yukio's world, okay? It was Yukio's world, and Jackie even said, he controls everything that goes on in here, so how did Yukio not know that she was not dead? That I don't understand. But aside from that, I mean, her death was ambiguous. I'm not going to say it was like Gariko's death. But the second she showed back up and I realized I had to take her picture off the wall, I was like, you better not have Gariko survive. If he just like shows up in the bushes with like a little paper cut on his head, I swear I'm gonna... But they don't. We're getting to that. But Yukio notices that, I guess Jackie's Fullbring, like her boots are dirty, but she doesn't have any power. I guess that's how he notices or whatever. So she lost her Fullbring. We don't know how she lost her Fullbring. We don't know, you know, if that's what that whole flash of light was, if that's what she did in the, when she was in the chat room. We don't know how she did. We didn't even know I didn't know they could do that. Can they just do that by will? Apparently not. So how did she... I don't care. I really don't. This is like a circle of a mindfuck right now. But, instead, she says that but anyway, it's revealed by Yukio that Jackie was actually the only Execution member that actually hated her power, which makes sense because what we saw in the flashback was she loved to shine her boots, and you know, dirty boots. That seems kind of a contrast. Also, her Fullbring was brought by the death of her brother and hundreds of other innocent civilians by the hands of her drug-dealing father, but I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. Instead, she said she found Gariko's body and buried it, so okay, we got closure there. At least one person belongs on the wall, and no, I was going to put Ginjo's picture up, but my printer ran out of ink. Oops. But anyway, she comes to a stunning realization that the only thing that linked the Execution members together was their Fullbring. Kind of figured that at the... So anyway, Yukio's walking away. Jackie calls back to him. Let's go together for a while. Think he's a little bit too young for you. Still not impossible. But anyway, instead he says, give me 3 years. I'll grow up in 3 years. I'll make the company 3 times as large. Then I'll come back and I'll let you all work for me. Okay then, President Yukio. That might have been a funny joke if you're American. If you're British, it's the Prime Minister. I don't know who the Prime Minister is in Britain, so I really can't have a joke to go with that. But continuing onward, and we cut back to the Urahara shop. And this is the part where, okay, I'll go step by step, because if I say everything right now, we're going to be here for a while. But instead, Ruruka's there, she wakes up. Rukia's fine from, you know, whatever Ruruka did to her body when she entered it. Rukia's fine. Ichigo's there. He's back in his human form. And then Ichigo says something that I would say it doesn't make any sense. But the thing is, it makes so much less sense that it might be intentional. He might be lying. Because he says, we could not find any of the others. I call bullshit right there. Ginjo dropped right in front of your eyes. How did you lose sight of him? Tsukishima, he attacked you from behind. As for Yukio, up until a little while ago, Toshiro had a pretty good eye on him. So the only ones unaccounted for were Gariko and Jackie, who were supposed to be dead. Well, Gariko was dead, but they even say in the next page, Orihime, who's also lying right in. I don't know if they're lying in the same bed together or if they're like in separate bunks, but from the art style leads us to believe that they were in the same bed, which a little weird. But oh, nothing. Anyway, so Orihime even says, Ginjo-san, Jackie, Yukio, Gariko, we heard that none of them were found. That's bullcrap right there. You knew where you knew where Ginjo was. He was dead right in front of your feet. You knew where Tsukishima was. He attacked you right from behind. What the hell happened in between these chapters? I mean, the captains were there. They're gone. The thing with Tsukishima was he was attacking Ichigo, and then all of a sudden he just collapses and starts, going on he starts remembering about all the times Ginjo, and he starts acting like a baby. What the hell happened in between that? Did Ichigo and the others just see Tsukishima crying and just be like, okay, guys, yeah, we're just gonna go, Tsukishima, Byakuya, you guys are going back to the Soul Society. Okay, see you later. We're gonna get going while this guy's, shouting like an idiot in the background, and they took Riruka and then they left. I don't know. I just don't know. It feels like we're missing a chapter here. But Riruka asks about Tsukishima, and big revelation of the chapter, Orihime doesn't know who he is. But, at first I thought, this makes sense because when a Fullbringer dies, all traces of their ability is gone. But then I remembered, he's not freaking dead yet. So that means, number one, that Orihime was just, mind-fucked over so much that she just, completely blotted him out. Uehara fixed her, or Tsukishima's Fullbring stopped working as well. But I don't know which one of those. Take your pick. I don't know. But Riruka starts crying, I guess, over the loss of Tsukishima, or maybe because, I don't know what she thinks. It's so vague. But we cut back over to Mo, who's carrying Tsukishima away, and Mo states that it's a good thing he didn't die. Okay, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm freaking done with this. Kubo is deliberately screwing with me right now. He saw my manga reviews, and he knows how irritated I am when it comes to Tsukishima dying. If I recall correctly, he was supposed to be dead in 10 minutes. See how well that worked out. So, yeah, I guess if Kubo's not going to do it, I guess I'm just going to have to. Bastard's dying. And the world is a hell of a lot lighter. There. And the world is a hell of a lot lighter. I feel better now. So anyway, Mo has this final monologue about how Tsukishima is the strongest, he can't die, he's invincible, and he says, I see it now, Ginjo. It's only after you died that I was able to realize maybe what you knew all along. Thank you, Mo. And he says, oh, it's only natural for me to help you, and then they notice it's dawn finally after 20 chapters, and he says, wow, that's beautiful, right, Tsukishima? And he says, thank you, I was never alone. And so, that's the end of the chapter anyway, and I already stated a bunch of times in this review, it just feels like we skipped a whole flashback. It does. I mean, this seems like, the cap off to the arc, but we still have so many unanswered questions. It's just something like so many questions that a flashback could have freaking fixed. And the other thing that really messed me up with the chapter was how Kubo did a complete 180 with Tsukishima's character. Last chapter it was evident a little bit, but this chapter it was just completely not what he was. It wasn't even close. I mean, we just had that epic fight with Byakuya where Tsukishima was calm, stoic, and that was him right there. That was his character. All of a sudden, he just goes oh, Ginjo, please don't die. I was never alone. You can't do that. You can't just have him express emotions out of nowhere and completely change sides. Now, a good example of this is Riruka, because Riruka, she never really did anything that bad. Her character kind of alluded to being to always being the better one out of the execution members. So when, they saved her and Riruka might look like she might become an ally, that I believe, that I understand. Tsukishima though, I mean, he was a douchebag when he was introduced, and I still see him as that. You can't do that. You can't just change characters like that. But anyway, this is a special manga review on Monday. I don't know when the next chapter is going to come out. Your guess is good as mine. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.